Welcome to Mid-Century Living, your weekly nostalgia podcast about the best of technology and culture from the mid-20th century.
Welcome back to Mid-Century Living, the show where we talk all about the best of the mid-20th century and how to add vintage vibes to your modern life. We're your hosts, Gonzalo.
And Jackie, thank you for joining us today. It's almost Thanksgiving, so it's time for another food talk episode. Today we're talking about deviled appetizers, mainly deviled eggs and deviled ham. If you'd like to skip ahead to the topic we're covering today, we have a timestamp in our notes, or you can check out our new chapter links in the episode. But first, Gonzalo, how have you been?
I've been busy.
Do tell.
Well, it will do. The end of the pre-Thanksgiving weeks of school are always busy because everyone's trying to get everything situated for the end of the school year, quote. Because when we come back from Thanksgiving break, then it's like 1 week of instruction, 1 week of reviewing, and finals. So like everyone's like in a mad hurry. Plus, all the kids are tired, and all the teachers are even more tired. But I've also been working on my cruise decorating side gig. So it's been busy. Well, at the time of the recording, really, I haven't started the cruise stuff. I've only been doing the planning part. But it's like gathering the team together and, making all that stuff. But I'm excited.
Assembling the team, is it kind of like an Ocean's 11 style montage?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So no, but it's been good. Busy is good.
Busy is good.
Yeah. How's your break gone?
Awesome. I was in Disney World for a week. All of that happened since our last recording time. I had a magical time. I made almost everything I set out to make. I ended up scrapping one of the project ideas, not really for time, but mostly for enthusiasm. Also, I kind of realized I have enough Disney clothes that I didn't really need to make as many outfits as I did. So I scrapped one of the outfits and just replaced it with stuff I already had. But I had a magical trip. And then it was Halloween, and that was an awesome week. And now it's just I finally got through the post-Halloween recovery week, which is, you spend the whole month excited about this holiday, and then afterwards you're just like, okay, now what? And there's a now what phase, and you have to pack all the decorations away, and that's a huge bummer. And so that week just it doesn't exist. And then
you can start decorating for Christmas.
Right. Well, no, because I'm not a crazy person. No, no offense to people who are trees going up on November 1st. It's just I put so much into Halloween that I need a minute. And thankfully there's a holiday in between the two that I can focus my energies on before it's time for Christmas. Though I have done a little bit of Christmas shopping already because Target has very cute blow molds this year. And I am a sucker for a blow mold. So I bought some Christmas decorations, but they're hiding in the closet because I don't want to actually let them out of the house until December. Or out of the closet until December.
My coworker, so the way our school set up, every 2 classrooms have the doors next to each other. So my teammate, Raina, her room is next to mine. And she has a wreath on her door and a tree in her room. And all my students are like, hey, her room's so nice. When are you going to decorate for Christmas? I'm not gonna.
Never.
But now my room looks what's undecorated, but there's a term here that I'm missing by comparison.
I feel like if you're going to decorate for one holiday, you need to decorate for all of them. It's easier to just not.
I do enjoy decorating for Christmas.
I hope so, because you're doing it as a side gig.
Well, yes. But sometimes I'll get back after all that. I'm like, oh no, I gotta put my tree up. But then I like the look of my house with decorations.
I've got it. Yeah, no, I agree. That's the thing is I've gotten a good system now where I have a lot of just general fall decor that comes out at Halloween. So I just pack away the overtly spooky things. Mm-hmm. And my house still has a little bit of decor up that'll work through Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We got pumpkins.
So, yeah, all the pumpkins. All you have to do is turn the jack-o'-lanterns around and now it's a pumpkin.
Yeah.
So
just don't put it behind a mirror.
Yeah. But yeah, it's now I need to start getting serious about planning my Thanksgiving menu, which is the direct inspiration for today's episode. In case anyone else like me is just like still reeling from Halloween and you don't have your menu planned yet and you need some inspiration, maybe you'll get some inspiration from today's episode. Mainly, I was inspired by deviled eggs and deviled ham, both being deviled. Again, I'm coming right out of Halloween, so like, I thought it would be fun to dig into like the history of the word devil as a food preparation technique, uh, and then get to fun menu sharing later. So that's what today's episode's going to be. So Gonzalo, why don't you start us off with some devil vocabulary history?
Yeah, put the teacher talking about vocab. Okay, so with my teacher hat on, the word devil actually, as applied to food, first appeared in 1786 from the Oxford English Dictionary. Devil, a name for various highly seasoned broiled or fried dishes, also for hot ingredients. And that again is 1786. Craig Lounger number 86, quote, make punch, brew negus, and season a devil. So, deviled, with the ed at the end, as in past tense devil, as a word first appeared in 1800 when it was used in the phrase at 2:30 ate a deviled kidney, according to the Oxford Companion to Food. Devil, a culinary term which first appeared as a noun in the 18th century and then in the early 19th century as a verb, meaning to cook something with fiery hot spices or condiments. Wait, does that mean that all the deviled foods is spicy?
Well, the thing is, back then, spicy just meant had spices. It didn't actually mean spicy as in hot peppers, like just adding
We
adding
were
pepper
just
to
talking
something.
about this in history class because of the
Yeah,
whole
like
spice trade.
spicy to them just meant not unseasoned. It just meant
Yes.
seasoned.
Which I always found funny that the British Empire was all about spices because they don't know how to spice their foods.
No, they don't.
But
They
anyway,
copy it from everyone else.
yeah. The term was presumably adopted because of the connection between the devil and the excessive heat in hell. Boswell, Dr. Johnson's biographer, frequently refers to partaking of a dish of deviled bones for supper, which suggests an earlier use.
In America, the use of the word deviled was known in the early 19th century. According to the Encyclopedia of American Food and Drink, deviled, any variety of dishes prepared with hot seasonings such as cayenne or mustard. See, they're considering mustard a hot seasoning.
Spicy mustard can be hot.
That's true. You're right. The word derives from the association with the demon who dwells in hell. In culinary context, the word first appears in print in 1786. By 1820, Washington Irving has used the word in a sketchbook to describe a highly seasoned dish similar to a curry. Deviled dishes were very popular throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, especially for seafood preparations and some appetizers. So basically, all of this means that you can devil anything, from burgers to green beans. And yes, I have recipes for each of these saved in the drive. I could share them on Instagram if people are interested. But yes, you can devil a burger and you can devil green beans. You can devil whatever you want.
You can devil a burger? Wait. What about deviled foods cake?
So the devil in devil's food most likely refers to the cake's sinful nature, or possibly to contrast it directly with the lighter angel food cake. But either way, that doesn't count as deviled the way that we're describing it in this episode, so we're not going to be going into devil's food cake today. But a devil versus angel food cake episode I think would actually be kind of fun, so maybe if I can get enough research for that, that would be a fun food talk episode to do one day.
Yeah, but that makes sense because I just realized that it's all in the grammar because it's devil's food cake, as in the food cake that belongs to the devil.
So now that we've got the history of the words and the vocabulary out of the way, let's start talking about the food. So I'm sure we're all familiar with the concept of a deviled egg, but just in case, to make deviled eggs, you slice hard-boiled eggs in half and remove the yolks, and then you restuff them with a mixture made from the yolks. So these days, the recipe almost always includes mayonnaise, mustard, and spices. Deviled eggs have a strong association with mid-century America and always show up at retro-inspired dinner party menus. But did you know that stuffed hard-boiled eggs go back even farther than that?
That's right. So let me let me first take off the teacher hat and put on the history nerd hat because we're going back to ancient Rome. The Roman cookbook Apicius, compiled in the 4th or 5th century CE, contains a recipe that calls for boiling eggs, removing the yolks, and mixing them with pepper, wine, broth, and oil before stuffing the mixture back into the egg whites. That actually sounds really good.
Right? Never put wine in a deviled egg before.
No, but I'm kind of into it. The dish was extremely popular in Roman times, but nothing similar showed up again until the 13th century when stuffed egg recipes began to appear. In 13th century France, a recipe for œufs farcis, or stuffed eggs, appeared in the cookbook Le Viandaire de tel vent, which is a book in French. This recipe involved filling eggs with a mixture of yolks, cheese, and spices, but then they were baked in a pie crust.
Right? I know. They had to ruin it.
Yeah.
But they do love pastry there, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have done it in a pie crust. I would have done it in like a filio crust.
Or a batter. I don't know.
Anyway, stuffed egg recipes started to look more familiar in the 15th century. Here is a medieval recipe for a dish called ova farta from Platina's On Right Pleasure and Good Health. That's the name of the book. Make fresh eggs hard by cooking for a long time. Then, when the shells are removed, cut the eggs through the middle so that the white is not damaged. When the yolks are removed, pound part with raisins and good cheese, some fresh and some aged. Reserve part to color the mixture. And also add a little finely cut parsley, marjoram, and mint. Well. Some put in 2 or more egg whites with spices. Yeah. I was fine until mint. Why do we have to screw everything up with the last ingredient?
I bet you could change the herbs to something that goes better with the cheese you pick out, since they're not picky about the cheese.
In 16th century Italy, the concept of deviled eggs evolved further. The Italian cookbook Opera by Bartolomeo Scappi includes a recipe for uova ripiene, or stuffed eggs, which involves filling eggs with a mixture of yolks, cheese, and herbs, and then serving them as an antipasto. Why did I get all the foreign languages?
Because they're all too old for me to talk about them. I don't know if you picked up on this, but anything older than the 40s, I have you say. But also because you can do a French accent and I cannot. It would have been a lot more embarrassing if I was reading this part. Or offensive.
The first recorded recipe that closely resembles the modern version of deviled eggs appeared in 1896 edition of the Boston Cooking School Cookbook by Fanny Farmer. It was the first printed recipe to suggest using mayonnaise as a binder for deviled egg filling.
So I read at least 4, I have them all in the show notes, articles all about the history of deviled eggs for this episode, and every single one of them mentions that Fanny Farmer used mayonnaise in her recipe in 1896, but no one included the actual recipe.
Oh.
I could not find a on the internet printed version or even like a taste test anyone did for this recipe, because I wanted to see what the ratios were and how she incorporated the mayonnaise, but I could not find it. So if anyone out there happens to have this cookbook, please DM us on Instagram because I'm really curious. Mayonnaise actually was not commercially available until 1907, and store-bought mayonnaise did not become a part of the classic American deviled egg recipe until the 1940s, but that's when deviled eggs really took off. Today, most families would not think of making deviled eggs without mayonnaise. The basic recipe for classic deviled eggs has not changed in this country for over 75 years, but there are some regional variations here in the U.S. In the South, the filling often includes pickle relish, and in New England, they often add fresh herbs to the filling. And every family tends to have their own little spin on the recipe.
Interesting. Now, you are the resident deviled egg maker in your family, right?
Yes, we make them every Easter and every Christmas sometimes.
So what do you guys put in your deviled eggs?
We wing it. We don't actually, this is like a measure by heart recipe, but it's always mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. We don't use paprika in ours.
I love paprika.
How does your family make deviled eggs?
We don't.
What?
I don't think my mom's ever made. Growing up, we never had them.
Oh.
I love eating them, though. And I will say that there used to be a place here in Houston called Liberty Kitchen, which did deviled eggs with a fried oyster on top.
Ooh.
And it was so good.
Yeah. I mean, I love deviled eggs. It's always the first to go at any place, like any buffet style.
Oh, yeah.
Appetizer thing, like the deviled eggs go first. They're always delicious. And I do remember like the culture shock of when we first moved to Texas and we went to Luby's and they had deviled eggs like that you could just like grab and throw on your tray for like 25 cents or whatever. And that was the first time I had a deviled egg with pickle relish in it. Mm-hmm. And that was a culture shock for me, honestly. Not a fan, but Anyway, before we moved on to our next deviled food, I wanted to talk a little bit while we were on deviled eggs about deviled egg plates. You know the ones, the serving plates with 12 indentations specifically to showcase your deviled eggs at the buffet table. These plates peaked in popularity in the 1950s. Replacements.com, which is a website that sells vintage dishware, like if you're missing one piece from your collection or something breaks, you can go there and buy a replacement for a little bit too much money. But they have egg plates in more than 100 patterns.
Ooh.
My favorite vintage egg plate is the Anchor Hawking milk glass egg plate with the gold trim. They are everywhere, and I feel like everyone in the vintage community has at least one. I own two, the classic white and a blue one that's a little bit harder to find.
Ooh. You should share some of those photos.
I should. I will.
So I have a funny story about egg plates or deviled egg plates. I don't know what to call them. Plates with dimples in them. Because this was years ago. I was watching my car being washed because I took it into one of those like car washes, but it was one of those that like they do it all by hand and then like it goes to the machine only to get rinsed and then they come out and they dry by hand. And they had this like waiting room with like furniture and like, you know, a cup of coffee and stuff and like giant windows so you could like watch your car being washed. And they also had a section of trinkets to buy. And like, yeah, there were the you know, car tropes like, you know, antenna balls and stuff like that. And then there was like a shelving unit that was full of plates. And one of those plates was a deviled egg plate. It was a fancy looking one too. And I just remember thinking like why? Like who's going to the car wash to buy, you know, china?
That's so funny.
But I guess it would make a funny story if you would show up to a dinner with like your deviled egg plate. Like, you'll never believe where I bought this plate. But
bought it at the car wash. I would be thrilled.
But yeah, that's my story about egg plates.
That is really funny.
My mom does have one though. That's really nice because it's like a tray, and the egg holes, dimples, placement spots are around the edges. So then you can still put something in the middle. But
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the tricky thing is. I always try to figure out what you're supposed to put in the middle. I actually asked in a group once, like, what everyone puts in the middle of their deviled egg plates, and apparently it's just like mini gherkins or like olives or just like some other kind of like grab and go. But a lot of people just said more eggs.
I was thinking like crackers or bread or something.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. But anyway, now let's talk about a different deviled appetizer, deviled ham. So while you can definitely make this yourself, we'll mainly be focusing on the famous Underwood deviled ham. Almost every vintage recipe I found refers to deviled ham in amounts by can, not like cups. So they're assuming that you're buying deviled ham. And if you're buying deviled ham in a can, you're buying Underwood deviled ham.
Huh.
The William Underwood Company was founded in 1822, so way earlier than our podcast. But before we talk about this meat spread, we need to talk about the Underwood Company because they are the reason why canned foods are so safe today.
Okay. So in the 1800s, many canning companies encountered the problem of cans swelling and sometimes exploding. In late 1895, William Lyman Underwood, a grandson of the founder, approached the chair of the biology department at MIT about this problem. From late 1895 to late 1896, Underwood worked with biologists every afternoon focusing on canned clams. They discovered that the clams contained heat-resistant bacterial spores that were able to survive processing. They eventually learned that these spores would be killed if processed at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, or 121 Celsius for those of us over the pond, for 10 minutes in a hermetically sealed container. So these studies prompted similar research of canned lobster, sardines, peas, tomatoes, corn, and spinach. And the research was first published in late 1897. It was never patented, but it had a huge impact on the canning industry and food technology itself.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that was a fun discovery. I really didn't think I'd get anything that juicy out of a deviled ham research project, but I thought that was really cool.
I find it interesting or like innovative that like the canning company people were like, you know what? We need actual scientists on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, MIT. But back to deviled ham. So in the 1860s, deviling was done with a lot of meat and seafood products, including turkey, chicken, tongue, and lobster. Mr. Underwood decided to focus his efforts on developing his own family recipe for deviled ham specifically for canning. And Underwood started canning deviled ham in 1868. By 1870, they had trademarked their memorable deviled logo, bearing a pitchfork and a mischievous grin. They also had a lot of great marketing lines like branded with the devil but fit for the gods. The devil logo is still around today, though he had some redesigns over the years.
Yes, deviled ham is still around today. It has a short list of ingredients, just cured ham, mustard flour, spices, and turmeric. It has a pate-like consistency, so it's easily spreadable and goes great on crackers or toast. Unlike canned tuna or chicken, which really require a lot of add-ins to make them taste good, deviled ham tastes great right out of the can. And we're hopefully going to prove this fact right now because Gonzalo is going to try deviled ham for the first time live on the air.
I'm apprehensive.
I'm excited.
Okay, let's
See if you can get the can opening sound on the microphone.
Okay.
Yes. The ASMR you didn't realize you needed. Somebody eating deviled ham.
So, at first glance, for those of you out there who've never had this before, because I haven't, I did get Underwood because it's the kind to get, and it does have a little devil with a little pitchfork on it, and it looks like, I don't know, like someone canned sick.
Oh. Nothing looks good right out of a can.
That is true. So what do? Do I just spread it on the cracker?
Yes.
Do I mix it first?
Yeah, I would maybe just so that... Because you know the heat on the outside always makes the outside of a can good weird. Like I would stir it around a little and then like take a good chunk from the middle and put it on a cracker. The face you're making. We should have made this a video episode.
All right. To your health.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I could eat this. It's very salty.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
See? Right out of the can. He went back for seconds already.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So now you have some flavor context for the recipes we're about to discuss.
Yes.
I'm so happy. Okay, good. I'm glad you liked it because I would have made the rest of this episode really awkward if you did. Anyway, so now, as is tradition with all of our Thanksgiving episodes, I'm going to go through some mid-century recipes now. One of the articles I used to research for this episode actually included 2 vintage recipes from mid-century issues of the Dallas Morning News, of all things. Small world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's one of them. It's an appetizer recipe from 1958 that actually sounds really good. Spicy deviled ham balls. So it's 2 cans of deviled ham, half a clove of garlic minced, half a teaspoon of Angostura bitters, fine breadcrumbs, and 1 egg, and you mix all the ingredients together and then pan fry them, and then you serve them with mustard.
Oh,
so they're like little fried,
like little fried meatballs.
I love this idea. Also, just side note, every now and then I come across a recipe that calls for Angostura bitters as an ingredient in like a savory recipe, like adding them to soups. It's usually in like vintage recipes that like for bachelors or for men. I guess they figure they like the bar carts nearby and they can just grab that. But I'm intrigued by the idea of making food with bitters. I've never done it myself, but I think that also is interesting.
Yeah.
And anyway, maybe that could be cooking with bitters, an episode. No, that's too much. Anyway, so back to deviled ham appetizers. So I can personally recommend this dip recipe from the Philly Dip Party Handbook that Philadelphia Cream Cheese put out in the mid-century. It's mayonnaise, cream cheese, deviled ham, pimento, onion juice, Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, and you serve it with potato chips, and it's delicious. I made this for a cocktail party once, and it was a big hit. And of course, the Underwood Company came out with their own cookbooks and featured some of their own branded recipes in magazines during the mid-century. One easy one that makes the rounds this time of year is Snow-Capped Spread from the 1960s. You've probably seen this picture just like floating around. It's basically you make like a mound of deviled ham and then you frost it with like whipped cream cheese.
It looks like Bake Alaska.
Yeah, it looks like a baked Alaska, but it's ham. And the picture that I included has like a little sprig of holly on the top because it's for a Christmas party. Um,
And is that served with Fritos?
yeah, it actually called out Fritos specifically. I also included them in my the same cocktail party where I did the Philly ham dip. Like
Mm-hmm.
Fritos and Bugles are actually really old, and you can like they're period accurate
Okay.
chips to include. Fun fact.
Ooh, we should do a chips episode.
And then I found one recipe that ties our whole episode together: flip top deviled eggs. That's right. They put deviled ham in the
In
deviled
the
eggs.
nice.
So it's you mix the egg yolks with mayonnaise and deviled ham and onion and lemon juice and a dash of Worcestershire sauce. And in this one, it's really cute. They like, instead of cutting the eggs hot dog style, they cut them burger style so that they have like, it's like 2/3 of the bottom, like the rounder bit, and then they cut like the top off.
Uh-huh.
And then you like put the top back on like a little hat. They're really cute.
It just sounds like a lot of egg to put in your mouth at once.
Yeah, because now you're eating a whole egg. So these are like 2-bite deviled eggs.
Yeah,
Probably.
which are messy.
That would be messy. But look how cute they look, standing up like little
Soldiers.
penguins. Little soldiers. I was going to say soldiers and then change
Well, they
my
also
mind.
have a little hat on top of them of a slice of an olive.
Yeah. They don't include it in the ingredients list, but there's definitely a little olive on top of their heads.
It
I
looks
think
like
they're
it's
precious.
like a toothpick that's holding the top on.
Well, I hope these recipes inspired everyone to make something deviled as a Thanksgiving appetizer this year. Gonzalo, which deviled recipes sound the best to you?
I mean, the plain old deviled egg. I kind of want to try, but also the one with the Philly cheese. I feel like that one, like making it into a dip.
Yeah,
That's
it is
really good.
it is a really good dip.
I will say that one that's not a like call for me is the one with the whipped cheese topping, baked Alaska style.
I do think it's a really confusing presentation. Like, I'm sure the flavor would taste good, but
It does look like the ratio would be really off. Like you're getting a lot
yeah.
of cream cheese and then a little bit of ham.
I honestly would eat all of these. I think I find the deviled egg soldiers the most adorable. I think that would be better for Christmas than Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, because you could put like a little like I don't know, Christmas accoutrement,
Mm-hmm.
like a little like I don't know, cranberry on top.
Yeah, something festive.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're all caught up to the present, it's time for our etiquette segment. So, Gonzalo, what do we have today?
Cool. So I thought since we are in Thanksgiving, we should do something Thanksgiving-y in our etiquette. And since we are kind of on a special, I can bend the rules a little bit. So instead of reading from Amy Vanderbilt or Emily Post today, here are some cool facts about Thanksgiving through the decades.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. So first off, why do we eat Thanksgiving so early in the day? I mean, some families celebrate at like 2 or 3 p.m. instead of the traditional dinner time, which is much later in the afternoon. What time do you guys eat?
Yeah, sometime in the afternoon. Well, we do. It's like an all day eating marathon. So like the appetizers come out around like noon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyways, the mid-century also held a stronger focus on meal simplicity. The holiday was more about home-cooked goodness, like the roasted turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, and pies, all the stuff from our recipe episode a couple years ago, all made from scratch by the family, usually matrons. Processed foods really were not as prevalent, and recipes were family secrets. But a lot of that changed, specifically with the invention of the TV dinner, because all of a sudden there was a marketed excuse for not going from scratch. The mid-century also brought to the table, pun intended, the canned cranberry sauce, which, while it's true that cranberry sauce is much older, it's also hard to pinpoint exactly when it was started to be canned. Some sources have it as earlier as the 1900s. But by 1941, the cranberry was being sold in cans nationwide. And over the years, the company that did this rebranded, going from Cranberry Canners Incorporated to the National Cranberry Association, and then ending up as Ocean Spray in 1957.
Oh, cool.
The mid-century also had a much smaller focus on commercialization. Black Friday didn't really become a thing until after the mid-century. Actually, the term Black Friday began with the Philadelphia police in the 1950s and 60s to describe the chaotic traffic and crowds the day after Thanksgiving. Apparently, it was due to the chaos from the Army-Navy game. Modern-day Thanksgiving often coincides with a barrage of advertisements for promotions for Black Friday sales, and that typically begin earlier and earlier every year. Stores try to entice shoppers to hunt for deals before they've even finished their Thanksgiving dinner. So this shift has led to like a cultural debate about the meaning of Thanksgiving, with like some advocating for a return to the holiday's original purpose of the mid-century, and gratitude and togetherness, as opposed to like eat quickly and go shopping.
Go shopping.
So, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree with all these thoughts. I was thinking that your answer for the why is dinner so early is like a throwback to when dinner was the like big meal in the middle of the day and supper was afterwards, which I think some people still do in the South. Like they still call dinner supper. But I'm curious now, though, where lunch folds in.
So lunch was a term that came about around the mid-century or slightly after, as a meal that came up in the middle of the day.
So, okay, so they just basically like rebranded the meals. And then I guess when lunch became a thing, that's when dinner, formerly supper, became the bigger meal of the day.
Yeah, and then supper, I feel like nowadays dinner and supper are kind of like being the same thing. So
fascinating. I also love the like I was just going again looking for inspiration. I always start in the 50s, so I was going through our Thanksgiving menus episodes, and I mean nothing much has changed. Everyone just made the same like 5 dishes, and they have like subtle ingredient variations, or like the ratios are slightly different. But Better Homes and Gardens, Betty Crocker, Family Circle, all of them, the Thanksgiving menu is the Thanksgiving menu, and this is what people make, and they usually make it from scratch. And I love that. And that's what that's why I feel bad about skipping over Thanksgiving and going straight to Christmas, because I really love the concept of Thanksgiving and like the whole family eating the same meal every year, like together, and gratitude. And I think it's a good practice in gratitude. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and I like, honestly, I don't mind eating the giant meal in the middle of the day, and then like, I kind of like that once a year.
Okay, I get it. You get time to digest and stuff. And I eat meals all day long, but I don't know, something about like the formal sit down dinner that early just feels weird when you're doing it.
I don't know. I don't hate it. I'm happy to eat whenever, honestly. I think it's really the problem. It's just like, what do you do with the rest of your day? I guess you take a nap, and some people watch football.
That's the thing. Like dinner is followed by sleepy time.
But now you can't sleep because it's 3 p.m. So like, what do you do?
You watch football.
Yeah, you watch football if you're into that sort of thing. Well, if you put the pies later, like you wait till everyone gets hungry again in a couple hours, and then you do the pie and like coffee and cordials.
I don't know if I can wait.
I actually need to do that. I know there are some people who just like have a separate space in their stomach for dessert, and like you can be totally full from your meal and you can just immediately eat dessert right away. I actually need to wait until I'm hungry again to eat dessert.
Oh no, there's always room for dessert.
Well, let us know in the comments, or let us know on Instagram how you eat your Thanksgiving dinner. Are you a middle of the day person? Are you eating at a normal dinner time? We'd love to know.
Yeah. And with that, it looks like we can finally put the deviled egg on the deviled egg plate. Thank you all for listening today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the show and tell a friend.
You can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram at MCL Podcast. Instagram is the best place to send us feedback and episode suggestions. Send us a DM anytime. And you can also contact us through the Send Us a Text Message feature in the show notes.
Yeah, so send us some fan mail. Thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned for another special and some Vault episodes.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Mid-Century Living. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and leave a review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at MCL Podcast. See you next Friday.